Hello there, fifth graders. Welcome back from your spring break. I hope everybody's well out there and that you had a chance to enjoy some of the nice weather last week. So here we are in April. April is one of my favorite months of the year because it's spring, number one, with everything is in bloom and the beautiful weather. And number two, it's National Poetry Month. And I always like to emphasize that in school in April, because I absolutely love poetry. I love to read poetry and I love to write poetry. I actually do a little bit of writing on my own. And so the book that I have today is from my poetry section in nonfiction. The call number is 811 because I know you want to know about that. So it's called Echo and Echo, Reverso Poems about Greek Myths, and it's by Marilyn Singer and illustrated by Josie Massey. And before I read a few poems, I have them all marked up top there. I want to read you the background of this style of poetry. Okay? So one thing that this particular collection of poems is really good about is they emphasize point of view. So if you think back to what point of view means, it's just basically like, whose side of the story are you hearing, right? So I'm going to read you a little bit about what she says about this book. Every civilization tells stories. Some are about how the world began, or why we have the seasons, or where a flower or a river or a mountain came from. Others are about heroes facing monsters and other magical beings. Many of these tales feature gods and goddesses. We call these stories myths. Among the best known myths are the ones created by the ancient Greeks. They believed in gods who lived on Mount Olympus, except for Hades, who lived in the underworld. These deities had supernatural abilities, but human emotions. They were capable of arguing among themselves and even causing wars. On Earth, and often in disguise, they interacted with people, sometimes to the benefit of these men and women, and sometimes not. Greek mythology also portrayed the strengths and weaknesses of human beings, such as courage, pride, vanity, and endurance. And that's something that we are all having to practice right now. Endurance, right? This book features a number of these myths in the form of poems. The poems themselves are all reversos, a poetry form I invented, and that I being Marilyn Singer, the author of these poems. A reverso consists of two poems. You read the first poem top to bottom. Then you read the poem again with the lines reversed, which changes only in punctuation and capitalization, and that second poem says something completely different. It may be spoken by the same character at a different point in time or with a different point of view, or in this collection, it may be spoken by another character altogether. Okay, are you guys ready? So the first one I picked out is actually the last in this book. Okay, it's called Gods and Mortals. All right, so on this side will be the God side, and this side will be the mortal side, and you'll hear the difference in point of view. All right, so here we go. These myths make sense of the world. We, tellers and listeners alike, enter these portals to gods and mortals. They can never again be closed once our imaginations are opened. Okay, so that's the God side, and here's the mortal side. Once our imaginations are opened, they can never again be closed. Gods and mortals enter these portals too, tellers and listeners alike. We, the world, make sense of these myths. And you guys, it's really important as we're reading poetry to pause at the end of each line. So on some lines, they only have one word. Some lines have many words, but you have to read it exactly as it's written, and you pause at the end of each line, right? Okay, so the next one that I chose is called Pandora and the Box. And at the bottom of the page, it has a little synopsis of who Pandora is and all that. So I'm going to read that first. It says, Pandora was the first woman created by the gods. Zeus gave her a box, which she was not to open, but she did, letting loose all the evils in the world. Only hope remained inside. Okay, so the first side I read is Pandora's perspective, and then the other side of, well, we'll see when we read it. Okay, the box. All right. Oh, how humans are weak. Don't peek when a god speaks. It isn't hard to listen. It might have been great Zeus's game. No matter that, she gets the blame. She didn't collect them, but she let loose those evils. She just had to be curious, that Pandora. Blast her! Why, she opened that darn box, holding on to hope alone. Okay, so that's her side, and now the other side. Alone, holding on to hope, she opened that darn box. Why? Blast her! That Pandora, she just had to be curious. She let loose those evils, but she didn't collect them. She gets the blame. No matter that, it might have been great Zeus's game. Hard to listen, isn't it, when a god speaks? Don't peek? Oh, how humans are weak. Okay, so that was pretty fun. You know, I chose this collection of poems because I know that I have a lot of kids in this school who love Greek mythology. So this one it's pretty fun. All right, and this next one is King Midas and his daughter. So that's the king's perspective and the daughter's perspective. And at the bottom it tells us, because he helped out Silenus, this satyr, half man, half goat, granted Midas his wish, the power to change anything he touched to gold. Midas made the terrible mistake of touching his daughter. So here we go. Golden girl, alas, my good father still dares to call me, who would never offer a gentle hand. What kind of man would for years not give a caress? I must confess I suffer much. Today, so needy, so greedy for one magical touch. Okay, and the other side? For one magical touch, so greedy, so needy, today I suffer much. I must confess, what kind of man would for years not give a caress? Who never offer a gentle hand? Who still dares to call me good father? Alas, my girl, golden. Okay, so that's that poem. All right, and the last one we're going to do today, let's see, is called Perseus and Medusa. So I saved my favorite till last, which is Medusa. So heroic Perseus was given the task of slaying the snake-headed monster, Medusa. Anyone who gazed at her turned to stone. Perseus used his shield as a mirror so that he didn't have to look directly at her face. After he beheaded her, some of the drops of blood turned into Pegasus, the winged horse. Okay, so here we go. Perseus and Medusa. There is no man who wouldn't be scared stiff, petrified indeed. I must have your head, stone-headed monster. I am the chosen one to rid the world of you nasty creatures. It is my curse to be the hero. Look away. You cannot shield yourself from me. Wah, 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 wah. Okay, and the other side? I think this is Medusa's point of view. Shield yourself from me. You cannot look away, hero. It is my curse to be the one to rid the world of you nasty creatures. I am the chosen stone-hearted monster. I must have your head, petrified indeed, scared stiff. There is no man who wouldn't be. The end. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed my 4 poem choices from Echo and Echo. Happy Poetry Month, and I'll be back again soon. Hopefully with some more poetry, because I just love